Hello, this is Yahoo, macro option trader. Let's take a look at the markets as of 8:33 a.m. Japan time on July 16, 2025. Yesterday, the Nikkei Inigo closed at 39670 yen, up about 0.55% from the previous day. As of now, the Nikkei CFD is trading at around 39625, so not much movement overnight. We have got some political event coming up. Minister Kato is set to attend the G20 in a few days, and Vincent will also be in Osaka for the expo. There are reports that Prime Minister Ishiba might initiate some final trade negotiations during this time. So, ahead of these events, the market seems to be moving sideways, waiting and watching. The volatility index is at 23.55 and the PER is at 50.64. That's with the current APS of the Nikkei at 2536 yen. All things considered, earnings remains strong and the market still looks relatively firm. However, on the breast side, only 1320 stocks advanced yesterday, lower than recent days when we saw over 2,000. This might hint at some cooling in the cash markets. Whether this is just a partial or the start of something else, we'll see if this crutch turns into a jump. On the currency front, the yen is still weakening and no major changes there. But the BOJ meets the end of July and the governor weather decision will be critical. Despite the nominal wage rising, a real wage in Japan are still lagging. Inflation expectations remain high, and that might push the BOJ to consider a rate hike, even if income level have not fully catch up now yet. Now, turning to the US, the S&P closed at 6244. Volatility was low, with the VIX around 70.38. However, 30-year yield has pushed back up to 5%. So while our equity remains calm, the bond market is clearly moving. Japan's 30-year yield is also around 3.1%, showing some volatility in fixed income globally. Gold held above $3,300, closing at $3,326 yesterday. Bitcoin, on the other hand, dropped up around 2%, giving back nearly a lot of gains from the July 14th. That's 120k dollar level, maybe proving a strong resistance. I still think that Bitcoin is one of the most important forward-looking indications out there, so definitely worth watching closely. And zooming out a bit, Japan's upcoming election is also something markets are watching closely. We have got the G20 financial minister meeting on the 17th and 18th. So we may see more movement after those events pass. One interesting I noticed, I was looking at the Google Trends and comparing search volume for parties like Continuational Democratic and Jiminto and People Party and Kokuminshito, the Liberal Democrats and Rikemishito and Sanseto. Surprisingly, Sanseto is way ahead in recent search volume. It seems the media narrative about sunset to surge might not be wrong. Based on the numbers I run, I think the media projection of 10 over 20 seats for sunset is actually quite reasonable. If they maintain this level of attention, that outcome looks increasingly likely. Given their stance on politics like cutting the consumption tax and with similar position from the People Party, opposition parties are leaning toward physical expression. But with Japan's debt load, the big question is whether we can really sustain the kind of spending. And this is probably why the bond market is watching the election outcome so closely. So yeah, overall, we are a calm period, almost too quiet, but it's calm before several key events. Let's stay tuned. That's it for today. Think of these contents as a long production, protective and forward-looking, and maybe even a little controlling. See you tomorrow.